we went to the foul line and made the foul shot, something we hadn't been doing. So there's a lot of ways to win a game, and we found it. I think we caught them in the second half on a bad night where some things for them weren't clicking, and we just did everything we can. We had two good teams. We didn't know if Mo was going to be able to play today for a little bit. He had tweaked the ankle that he had bothered, so we got a trainer, Alex Wong, that needs a shout out in this one, because for the last, he did it early in the practice 2 days ago, and for the last 2 days, we didn't know if he could go. So he had a lot of courage to come in and play, because it's basically re-injured the same injury. But he didn't look like he was bad today, and now we turned around and got Maryland Monday, like right away. So we embraced the win, only because we were able to get a victory against an outstanding team.
Questions for Coach?
Coach, can you talk about how Wagner, once he was cleared, seemed to embrace the opportunity and didn't get outside of himself, inside and out, driving, and just had a heck of a game? I
told Matt Shepard before that I don't think there's a book written on, you're a foreign student, you come to the United States, you have a great sophomore run, you dabble on going to the NBA, and then you come back with almost a whole new team. And I don't know how to handle it. We tried our best to be able to handle it, but I think what we saw, if he had bad games, he was just trying to do too much, and he wasn't doing what brought him there. Shot fakes, drive the ball hard. He was loving only the three. His defense was awful. And now I think he understands that that's not going to work, and he really did a great job today. And he didn't, one terrible turnover, but other than that, he was really basic and just really played the way we saw him play last February and March.
Fred?
You kind of alluded to it.
Fred.
Right here.
Thanks, Fred.
You kind of alluded to it off the top, but you have won and you've won here before, but this has to be as good as you felt here, given the recognition they get and the fact that you've only played them one time this year.
Well, yeah, when you have that one game, it's you want to get it. You want to get it, but it's very difficult to win here. But any top 5 team, it's going to be difficult to win. I don't know, Tom could check. I don't think any of my teams ever beat a top 5 team on the road. So this is a tough. I mean, I may be crazy here. I think we'll probably be the last one this year. Right? Just one of those things. Things sort of lined up today. Saw a Monsignor priest friend of mine from Monsignor Vinky said the rosary the whole way here. I mean, stuff happens. We really played well.
John?
Parishioners may not like that. But some of his Korean parishioners may not like that.
Just about the grit, the toughness that defensively your team has shown. I asked you about this a couple weeks ago, but today it seemed they didn't want to get outsized by Michigan State and did a lot. Isaiah and Duncan down low trying to go against 7-footer, and just the grit that your team showed.
I think you have to remember too. I mean, that was really big. Michigan State really has a whole bunch of sophomores. Don't forget, they're not. We played Purdue the other day with all these seniors. Those guys are still in a growth spurt as well as far as learning. But we did show the grit. My one assistant, Sadie Washington, from right here in Lansing, said, Coach, this team may be different. This team has some of that grit that you may need to win games like that. And that was, I think that was evident today a couple times to us in timeouts and things like that. Whenever they make a little run or it was going the other way, somebody come up with a big hoop or a big stop.
John, you assess when they went to that high-low game with Jackson in the second half, what adjustments did you have to make to kind of?
Well, that's a tough one. Because Ward is such a beast inside, and you got to try to take Jackson's shot away, and also he can drive. I mean, it's a matchup nightmare. Duncan Robinson, who we brought off the bench for the first time all year, did a great job on him. I mean, did a really good job. He got to the foul line too many times, and that's on us. I was upset with the officials, but we still have a tendency to put our hands on people, but you got to try and shut down that high-low game, and then the biggest thing is get them off the boards. I've been here, and probably every loss we've had, they probably got 14 or 15 rebounds. Matt Costello's in there getting rebounds. Adrian Payne's getting rebounds. That didn't happen today, and it's not that like they weren't trying. I think all year long we've had this incredible defensive rebounding percentage, and sometimes that's not a lot of times that's not coaching. That is just guys understanding that they got to check out and go get the ball.
We're on the right, Wojo. And you mentioned following up right on that and the grit, the toughness. Where is it coming from, do you think? Is there a particular player that's generating it, or where is this disposition coming from?
I think it's more group-wise. I think Muhammad is got this this stuff to him that he's talking to young guys through it. But it's quiet. It's a whisper. It's a Trey Burke. It's a Stu Douglas. You know, two guys that we won championships with. You know, that were not the Zach Novak or the Tim Hardaway personality. And I think that's big. And then Mo and Duncan's very much like that too. Mo's the other way. But I think that right now Xavier Simpson has really been key for us. That he's been able to make plays. He's been able to, you know, especially in the second half, they take the ball right at their shot blockers and finish. So it feels terrible about missing the foul shots, but man, he did so many other good things. They did a great job on a terrific player. Cassius Winston did a great job on him.
I'm just about to lead into that question. Hey, John.
Hi, Casey.
Xavier Simpson, as you've seen progression out of him, how has he progressed the last few weeks? Because it seems like he's been progressively becoming a better player.
Well, that's probably my fault in the beginning. Is probably sometimes, and I go back in coaching, there's so many times you tell people so much they're doing wrong, and instead of what they're doing right. And that's a lot of coaches get into that. And right now he knows that there's a trust factor between him. And this is something every player needs. And as a coach, you got to catch yourself sometimes. And there's got to be, all right, there may be some blind spots in your game. We had one great point guard here several years ago, and it was like, Coach, let him make 2 or 3 mistakes. Don't get upset at him until he makes the 3rd mistake. And it went a long way that year. These are the type of things you got to coach. And as a coach, I hope I'm always learning to do things better.
Chris.
You said you were interested to see how some of the young guys would respond. Thoughts on Isaiah in the starting lineup?
He was okay.
Yeah.
He was okay. I think he worked out all right. And I don't think it was the moment. I think that he is. There's still, the game is coming to him, and every day it's going to be better. Duncan had been here before. That's where he was in foul trouble. But Isaiah's learning about the little things that determine games, and he learned a lot of those things today. But still, at the same time, he's really a good matchup for us defensively, and offensively he wasn't tonight, but he can be as he grows as a player.
And what adjustments do you have to make when the other team's in the bonus for first 5 minutes?
Yeah, well, in both games, right? Or both halves. Yeah, it's hard to do that, and we had a great crew working the game, so some of that is self-inflicted, and some of that is driven by Michigan State, that they're good at drawing fouls. They get there, and then there's tremendous foul shooting team. So if you take away some of the threes and you take away some of those foul shots, you have a chance to beat them. But it's really hard to take away those 2 things from them.
I'm right over here with Dan.
A couple times it looked like Jackson was getting going and had some momentum building, and Mo, I think, once in the first and once in the second half, stepped up and hit a big 3.
Yeah.
How important are those shots?
Yeah.
And how important is it to have a guy?
We had several of those in the game where you could feel the building start to shift a little bit, and Mo just made huge plays. Or we had 2-and-1s when I think it was 1 or 2 points, and 2-and-1s that from Muhammad and Mo. So those are, you got to score points against these guys, and it is not easy to score points against any Tom Izzo coach team. And so we're happy, that we got to 82, which is really a high number against them. I've never seen these stats like they had before with 34 defensive field goal percent. So really proud that we get that done today. But we answered several, and it wasn't like some coaching expertise. It was good players making good tough shots at tough times.
Over on your left with Jack.
John, did playing Purdue Tuesday and playing as well as you did Tuesday help today in terms of dealing with size and giving your guys confidence they could get this done?
Yeah, I think it was helpful because I looked at these 2 games and I said, these are games that probably are going to be really tough to just stay in because of how talented the teams are, how well they're coached, and both times now we stayed in both games and we're able to win one of them. So, but you know what? Doesn't make a difference if we can't go, and we got a monster. We got 3 games in 6 days coming up starting Monday, from Nebraska and Rutgers, and those are not easy places easy teams to play, or easy places to win, or easy teams to beat. So it doesn't mean anything if we can't continue this trend.
Take a couple more, Andrew.
So are you now more of a believer in your team's defensive rebound?
Well, if we can continue to do that, yes. That's that side. But we have to go with. I just think there's this jump. If anybody watched the jump in Mo Wagner getting rebounds away out of his area, probably one of you analytic guys could probably figure that out, like in baseball, how far they have to go to get a rebound. But he's really doing it. He never would do that. He sit and watch it. So that's been a big difference for us. And I think Charles makes a big difference there as well.
Did they do anything defensively that surprised you? I know, Purdue did.
They switched it. They did when he went smaller. When he took Ward out of the game, they switched some ball screens, and we're a little bit more used to it right now, and we'll see it much more going forward. There's some big guys we can maneuver around a little bit. Those tough to maneuver those up, but I think our kids understand it more than when we saw it from Ohio State way back in December, and we saw it the other night.
Take one more.
John, there was the physical aspect that Mo had to overcome to play in this game, but this is a very emotional game and a very emotional win. How do you view him responding to that, being the villain in this building, embracing that heel role and delivering the way that he did?
That probably was the difference in his play, really. I think that he said when you go through what he went through last spring, and I'm glad we did it because we know a lot more about who he is and how he has to respond. But I think that's the perfect stuff for him. That and he's like the greatest kid in the world. And if the Michigan State people knew him, they would agree with us. But he's just a delight to coach. But he really thrived on that tonight. That's what I read, and I didn't know what we would get from him. We've had, as I said in my press conference, we've had some really good teams come in here, right? And out of the game in the first half. A team that went to the national championship game, we were out of the game in the first half, and so it's really good to get that win.
John, when you look at the job that you guys did in the second half defensively on Bridges, what changed there? He was getting to the hole and creating in that first half, and then kind of sealed him off a little.
Well, I give the credit to Charles Matthew. Once again, it wasn't some coaching decision, but it was also just play him. He's got some tendencies that you have to sit on, and then you got to make sure. He said he makes plays for himself, and makes plays for others. We want to make sure that he was getting tough twos, and he wasn't making plays for others.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Dennis,